Hello, this is Maury. My name is Tiffany and welcome back to my channel. We've all heard of layoffs at big tech companies. Tech job market is not looking great, and we don't know how long this depressing trend is going to last. Most press releases blame the economic slump post-COVID, companies overhiring during COVID, and high inflation and interest rates for the decision to lay off tens of thousands of employees. Now, all these really qualified employees of these large companies with years and years of experiences of fame are out in the job market, all looking for UX jobs. If you are a fresh got out of a degree or a boot camp, or who's just trying to pivot their career into tech companies, you probably feel super timid about applying for jobs. Maybe you've already noticed a huge decrease in numbers of new UX roles. Competition for a job is seriously at its peak across the board. But as always, even more so for aspiring UXers, software engineers, product managers. So today I'm gonna walk you through a couple of my advice for aspiring UXers who are trying to make their pivot into this new career in this tough time. First, know the reality. This video isn't meant to sell unrealistic hopes because we're really in the middle of one of the most difficult times to break into tech. That is just the reality. If you are graduating from boot camps, it's especially going to be really difficult for you. It was already super hard to pivot a career into UX, even when the job market was so promising. You know that so many tech companies are going through big layoffs and a lot of hiring freezes right now. And that is just a reality that we just need to understand. Second, be open for really unattractive, unsexy roles. Really aim super wide when you are applying. This is not just the time to only apply for super amazing big tech companies, remote roles, benefits, exciting, sexy product. This is really the time to look into contract roles, startup jobs, part-time jobs. I am a huge advocate for starting a tech career in UX or product management, software engineering, whatever it is, in a contract role through agencies because they're really nice stepping stones to get your foot in the door and start collecting experiences in your belt. I also recommended that you look into local companies and local agencies. The competition is real, you guys. You're gonna want to really increase your chances of getting those interviews by casting your net wide and applying for unattractive, unsexy roles that not everybody may apply to. This here, what you're doing is to apply for roles that have less competition to increase your chances of getting interviews and getting hired. Third, people have varying opinions about this, but I really swear by this. Don't quit your old jobs. Don't quit your old job. When you're interviewing for these unsexy roles, like I said, you're going to continue building your career. You don't want to be a full-time job applicant in this tough time. While you're applying, make sure you leave time to making your resume and your portfolio really stand out. If you actually have a job and are still working in a non-UX field, don't quit your job. Again, don't quit your job. Disclaimer here is not to keep your newly found passion in UX a secret from other people around you. Let your manager know of your newly found passion in UX. Let your coworkers know that you are really interested in this new field. Try to take stretch projects that let you practice your skill sets. What you want to do is to really find ways to make yourself stand out in the large crowd of competitive applicants. And the best way to do this is to do it in your old job, to be honest, based on my experience. But let me tell you a couple of things that you could do to really make your resume stand out and you're making your interview stand out. So first is to really leverage your past using a compare and contrast method. I actually saw this in one of the blogs. Compare and contrast method is highlighting your differentiated skill sets, but also really demonstrating your strong understanding of UX foundation, UX methods, and UX practice. You can do this by taking a piece of paper out and then start jotting down all the skill sets, soft and hard skill sets that your old job had, and also writing down all of the soft and hard skill sets that your new job requires that you're trying to pivot into, and then trying to find some threads and making connections between them and telling a good story so that your past experience is not a flaw to you. It is actually something that really makes you stand out. because all those experiences are really valuable. Another really good way to really stand out is to demonstrate how you personally and professionally connect with that company that you're applying to. So for my example, because I have so much background in e-commerce and e-commerce and retail, when I made my switch over, I know that the biggest thing that really made me stand out was my background in retail. Maybe I'm a content creator, maybe I'm on YouTube, and I have a really strong connection to how I tell my stories on YouTube and how I tell my stories on TikTok, whatever. Then you have that personal connection to social media that you're actively on. Just kind of telling the stories as to why you're applying for this and why you have such a big connection to that company, personally or professionally. Third way is to create clear examples that demonstrate hard and soft skill sets. Like I mentioned, you are not only gonna tell that story as to how your prior experience and new experience connect, but you're also going to demonstrate that within your portfolio. You want clear examples that demonstrate, if I tell them that I'm coming from marketing analytics and that this is gonna be a really valuable asset to my new role as a UX researcher, I'm gonna have to demonstrate that somehow. And I love embedding that type of information within the portfolio so that they can really see that, hey, this is the type of skill sets that may really differentiate Tiffany from other candidates. Another big theme I have here is it's more important that you get started somewhere, somehow, someplace. If you don't have a job at the moment and are just job applicants, I encourage you to just go ahead and get a job, any job with a hint of UX skill sets in it, so that you can start building your years of experience while this difficult time passes. Some people might suggest that you keep working on it, that it's just a numbers game, you keep grinding, you just keep applying and you'll get there somehow. But at this point, to be honest, we don't know how long this tough time is gonna last, I feel like work experience in particular industry, or exposure to industry or exposure to some type of teams and getting the real world experience in one way or another is more valuable than having no job experience with some made up case study projects. One example why I feel so strongly about this is, so this happened when I had quit my old marketing job and moved to a new state. I was trying to move from Georgia to Minnesota. My initial intent was to get a UX job in Minnesota as I was making my move over to this new state. But I was having such a hard time. Obviously, I just couldn't get a job in UX at all when I first made my pivot. I come with a marketing background, so I got another job in marketing in Minnesota. That was really quick. I never stopped applying for UX jobs in the meantime. I continued interviewing while I got that new job and signed the offer and everything. After I started that new marketing job in Minnesota, I actually got a job offer in UX a few weeks after I started my new job, which got really, really awkward. And when I gave my intent for resignation to my manager at this new marketing company, I said that, hey, this is my longtime passion. I'm really genuinely sorry that I have to do this, but yeah, I can't miss this opportunity because it was a role that I really wanted. And my manager gave me a counteroffer with a higher salary, higher everything, and that they can even change the job title to make it a little bit more UX. They can add UX components to this job so that you can really practice and practice your passion in UX, whatever that may be. It was a really generous offer. Looking at it in any angles, long story short, I ended up not taking that counter offer because I was just so excited to finally get into an actual UX job after months and months. That was when I realized that, hey, this is one of the things that you could really negotiate for in your old jobs. Maybe you can take stretch projects so that you can shadow other people who are doing UX. Maybe you can take on a couple of research related projects so you can practice that within your own company. Try to make a case to practice UX in your current job. One other thing that I might recommend is to get a job in another field, but in the industry that you're really interested in getting into. I said I had experience in e-commerce and retail. My first UX job that I got was a UX researcher in an e-commerce and retail industry, and I know that my biggest skill set that the hiring manager really valued was my experience in e-commerce. If your goal is to getting into social media, you can really continue your customer service job representative experience, but at Facebook. So there are various ways to do this, but long story short, I really highly encourage you that you don't become a full-time job applicant. That is just so discouraging over time, longer term. And what I really want you to know is that UX is such a multi-dimensional field that your prior experience in anything, I can promise you that is gonna be valuable to your next job. If you come with teaching background, your experience presenting information to people, to children, to like younger kids are gonna be helpful in presenting really difficult pieces of information to your stakeholders in an easily digestible way. If I come with marketing background, but there were parts of my past job that included analytics, and that translated really well when I became a UX researcher because I was able to analyze not only qualitative data, but quantitative data. If I have experiences working in customer service as a waiter, the way I talk to my customers, the way I interact with my customers, the way I interact with my manager, the way I interact with vendors, those are all going to be valuable because those all translate really well to stakeholder relationship. There are ways that you can tell the story so that you can really highlight your prior experiences in anything, in any industry, in any work that you've done in the past to really highlight yourself and really kind of differentiate yourself from others. Long story short, I really feel you. I am so sorry that you're job hunting in this tough time. Know that a lot of people are in the same boat as you, and I don't think this is a numbers game, but it's more so keeping that morale up there and grinding until the job market softens up. That time will come. It may take time, but it will come. What I am encouraging in this video is that you're not gonna just be like clicking into applications one over the other, but you're gonna keep working on your resume, keep working on your portfolio so that you can prepare yourself for once the job market opens up and you're gonna start seeing jobs come and go. I want you to be aware of the reality going on, but keep your hope there in your heart, and the time will eventually come. But until then, you're gonna keep grinding and you're gonna keep working on it so that when that time really comes, you are gonna be the one prepared applicant that the hiring managers are gonna go after. I'm here all along. If you have any questions, send them my way. Leave them down below, and I hope you have a great rest of your week.